On this episode, we get into the absolute dumpster fire that is the Vancouver Canucks.
Kirill Kaprizov's getting surgery. He's probably going to have his leg amputated. Nobody knows what's going on.
Mark Stone, is he a dirty player? Was it a huge accident? Massive collision. Miro Heiskanen might be missing a lot of time. Let's get into it. Ice is ready, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast, brought to you by BetMGM. I am your host, Dan Powers, sitting with Chris Powers.
As always.
Whoa. Was that a guitar?
Yeah, it was like a metal. It was like metal.
I think I liked it.
Heavy metal.
I think I would have liked more of like a...
Yeah, that's...
But you went for a power chord.
Yeah, I went power chord. You went pick job.
I went like hairband.
Yeah. I guess, like, maybe...
Yeah, I think hairband's more of like the... than a power chord.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was metal.
Yeah, you went metal. And frankly, I should have been cooler with that.
You were receptive.
I wish I had been more like, fuck, you rock on.
Me too.
I should have, could have done.
Which is that too.
Yeah.
Dan. You want to try again?
No.
Okay.
But I'll just be ready next time.
Keep it right here.
Yeah, I'll be ready next time. This is our first Thursday episode, dude.
Yes,
Pretty
it is. Pretty cool.
I have a serious question for you. Do you feel like you are back to normal and re-energized after the debacle that happened to you on Sunday night?
Great question. No, I'm not, nor will I ever be.
Do you want
I might spend the rest of my life recovering from that.
Do you want to have a tantrum right now? Do you want to air out your grievances?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
I do. And this is what happened. I was flying back from Boston to Los Angeles on Sunday night on a United Airline flight. And I like United Airlines. And I actually used to hate United Airlines, and then I've come around, and every airline kind of sucks in various degrees. But listen, I was on a United Airline flight from Boston. It's a long flight.
Who I would like to say, who have been very good to us.
Yeah.
United Airlines.
Yeah.
I'm a United man.
I know you are. So it's like a 6.5 hour flight. People forget that. And because you don't have the wind, Dan. The wind is against you.
Yeah, it sucks.
So it's a long flight, and the football game was on. The Chiefs-Bills game was on. So it was like, that was kind of distracting. I had a pod to prep, so I was working on that, and I was reading a book a little bit. So it was like, okay, whatever. I pushed through it. And at 9:20 p.m., the pilot goes like this. They've already gone through and said, put your laptops away. They've already gone through and put the tray tables up. The seat backs are upright.
Tray table in locked position.
Carry-on bags are under the seat in front of us.
Personal items
under the seat in front of us. Seat belts on. And then he goes, flight attendants, please take your seats for landing. 9:20 p.m. We begin, not beginning final descent, Dan. Flight attendants, take your seats for landing.
You're about to land.
Boom. Sandra's at LAX to pick me up.
Already there.
Or on the way.
Okay. I was like, poorly timed.
And I had no bags, though. So, I'm going to walk right off.
True. But you never know, dude.
Yep.
Stuff happens at the gate.
You damn right it does. So, we begin lowering, and then we begin rising, coming back up. And not one of those touch, it wasn't crazy. We just
if you did that in a commercial airline, that would have been a big deal.
So we go back up, and the pilot goes, hey, attention. Due to inclement weather at LAX, we need to circle the airport for 15 minutes. And I go, no problem, big dog. It happens not all the time, but it happens. And I might add,
no problem.
15 minutes. We were early too. We were early.
Yeah, I would have been upset.
And we needed the rain. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I was like,
if there's ever a time to not be upset about rain, it's probably right now in Los Angeles.
And hey, just remember that for me, because I need to come back to that in a second. Don't let me forget that comment. We need the rain. So we circle for 15 minutes. And dude, I was really close to the end of a meaty fantasy book. So I was like, whatever.
Kinda great.
Yeah, I was like, you know what, dude, I'll
Kinda
keep
like,
going.
let me stay locked in here.
Words of radiance for those fantasy followers
Nice.
out here. So where's my boy Kyle? Dude, my boy Kyle DMs me about fantasy books. He's going to be fired up that I just finished that book.
Love that.
So Kyle, hit me up. Anyway, I'm like, good, I'll finish the book. And I'm barely even paying attention, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm just reading. And then I kind of look at my watch and it's been 30. It hasn't been 15 minutes, it's been 30 minutes, you know?
We're still spinning.
And I'm like, oh man, we're still circling, dude? Shit. And almost on cue, I get another announcement. Boom, attention. LAX is now closed because of severe weather warnings.
No.
And dude, I'm looking out the window.
I'm not bullshitting. I don't know this story. You're telling me the airport,
LAX has closed.
Dude, LAX didn't even close during the plot of Carry On.
Correct.
And there was an active terrorist threat.
Yeah, they pushed through it. Terminal 8, Carry On.
And you're telling me they closed?
They closed. So he goes, LAX is closed due to severe inclement weather.
Okay.
And I'm like, where, dude? It's like not even raining in LA yet. And
they didn't close for wildfires?
Yeah.
And we're closing for this?
So they go, and we're really sorry, but we need to go to Ontario.
Yeah.
And that's not Canada. For the people that don't know the area, there's an airport about an hour east of LA, Ontario rain for those hockey fans. So I am like,
who had
dude,
on their bingo card, we get an Ontario rain shout out.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God. And now problem, Dan. Before no problem, now problem.
Yeah, this sucks now.
And it's not the worst thing in the world, but I'm just like, damn it. So we are now flying to Ontario, and I text Sandra. I'm like, hey, I don't pick me up. I'm sorry. Go back home. Yeah. I'm going to Ontario. And she's like, I'll get you. And I'm like, no, it's going to take me 20 minutes to fly, less to fly there. It's going to take you an hour to drive there. I'm going to have to wait for you for 40 minutes. Then I'll just take an Uber.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I want to get you. You've had a long travel day. I want to pick you up. And I'm like, okay. Thank you so much. Genuinely.
Very nice.
Yep.
Very, very nice.
So we fly to Ontario. We land. It's pouring there. We need the rain. It's pouring in Ontario. And we land, dude. And Sandra's like, I'm like, I'm down. And she's like, well, I'm still, 40 minutes away. And I'm like, I know. That's fine. And the pilot goes, boom, attention. Every plane on Earth just diverted to Ontario because LAX is closed. So there's no gate space. It's going to be a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no problem, because my ride's 40 minutes away. That's all good. And Dan, I'm reading. So it's like, boom.
You're not done yet?
No, dude. No. Long book. So I'm powering.
You were not that close to the end then.
Buddy, these fantasy books are 20-minute chapters.
Yeah, but you said that you were like close to the end.
Isn't 5 chapters away close?
Yes, fair.
So that's like an hour of reading. So I'm like, I'm reading. And we're just sitting there. And then probably 30 minutes in, we haven't moved yet.
Uh-huh.
And he's going like this. He's going, boom, attention. I'm getting as much information as I can. I'm getting bombarded up here because a lot of people have connections. So he's like, I don't know. I'm working on all your connections. Just give me a minute, whatever. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get you guys off this plane.
Is a disaster.
And then he goes, dude, and it's hilarious, bro, because he keeps going like this. He's like, boom, boom, attention. Update for the Sydney people. The people with the Sydney connection. Your flight has left.
Yeah, no shit.
Dude, and then he'd be like this, boom, update for the Melbourne flight. It's gone. Like every time you pop in, there was never like,
bye,
good news. It's waiting for you.
Like this is a shit show.
And it's like the United app is your friend. Go on the United app.
Man, imagine like where they were coming from Boston.
Yeah. Tough
imagine those people who were going to Sydney.
Yeah.
Who had to fly to LA, probably aren't in LA that often, and now they're in Ontario. Yep. And they're like, where am I? And they're like, your plane's gone. And now you're also in Ontario.
Yeah. And he even did this to one group. He was like, boom, attention, the like Hawaii flight. Your plane has not left yet. And I was like, oh, some good news. And then he goes, it leaves in 13 minutes. And I was like, okay, so gone, because we are currently parked in Ontario. So they couldn't get there if they wanted to.
Yeah, like why even give that up?
People are getting lit up, dude. Like everybody's just like, oh my God. So then, dude, he goes, boom, attention, the LAX is reopening. And I go, so to be clear, it closed for 30 minutes.
closed long enough that we had to fly to Ontario.
And every plane
land.
on Earth had to fly to Ontario
and
to
land.
create this traffic jam. So he goes, also, Ontario has told us, not only is LAX back open, but also Ontario has told us they are not accepting
any more
planes, like including us. Because he's like, well, there's too many people.
Yeah, not enough gates.
Yeah.
It's not a big airport.
Go away, dude. So he's like, but we don't have enough gas to get back to LAX. So we need a car to come out and refuel the plane. And he goes, and to be clear, boom, everybody on Earth that is here needs fuel. So they're going to slowly get us fuel. But we're not first.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So now, dude, and they go like this. We are on an active runway and there's gas cars everywhere. So no one's allowed to stand up unless it's an emergency. And I'm like, well, I had to pee 3 hours ago. Yeah. So I will be standing up.
What do you recommend I do?
Yeah, I would say this is an emergency. And obviously not a single person listened to that. Like the entire plane stood up, everyone goes to the bathroom, whatever.
Yeah.
And I finished my book. And
was it good?
It was tremendous.
Okay,
tremendous.
Great.
And I was actually really glad to have finished it, to be honest with you, because it was just like a good time to just boom.
Sure.
And now, dude, we don't have fuel yet, but like it's taking forever. And the TVs are still working, thank God. So like everybody's just kind of like watching TV and they're annoyed. And then the pilots go, boom, we have hit our flight limit. So we can't fly anymore.
Dude, that is always such a dagger. That's happened to me before. Dude. It's like a flight attendant crew is like, to me, if you're a crew and you're on a plane and they're like, if we get an hour delay, we're now overtime, get off. Change them out now.
Do it now.
Just in case.
Quick change, dude. Quick change.
When they're like this, oh, we got an hour delay. Oh, now we have to delay another hour because of that. I'm like,
now you're hemmed in your own zone.
Rip the Band-Aid off earlier.
So now people are upset, dude, because they're like, we're gonna get some new pilots. We got to get you guys out of here when we can. And the flight attendants come on and they go like this, and they can tell, dude, they're starting to lose control of the cabin.
Yeah,
people are getting unruly.
We've got what did that chick say when she was on the plane saying like that everyone wasn't real?
Oh yeah. Dude.
We're approaching that.
Yeah, we're approaching
someone is going to get literal
I'm about to be dragged off this plane.
Cabin fever is setting in.
My book's done, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do now? I've finished the book. So, dude, the flight attendants come on and they say two things to try to calm everybody down.
Yeah.
This is why I wanted you to remind me of this. One of them I support, and the other one is just, how dare you? The first one was, she goes, we're really sorry that this is happening. But if it makes you guys feel any better, we're reading that the fires are now 98% put out
because of the rain.
Because of this rain. So
well played.
I know this sucks, but just let's all try to think about that.
Well played.
She says that, and I literally, Dan, went like this. Well played.
Yeah.
Because
she invoked natural disaster prevention.
Crises.
Yeah.
Dude, she went crises.
Yes.
And I went, you know what? What am I going to complain about? A few lost hours of sleep when the Palisades fire.
Now my city is no longer burning.
Yes. So I go, wow, really well done. Put some stuff in perspective. Good job. And she could have, Dan, taken the phone and hung up in that moment.
Oh, God.
Bang. Goodbye. And I would have gone, great job.
What'd she do?
But then she went like this, Dan. And...
Babes, it's time to talk to you about BetMGM, the best partner in the world and without a doubt the best sports betting app you could ever possibly get on. We've got 4 nations coming up. We've got the Super Bowl right around the corner. All of these amazing games that you can get in on the action with. CP and I are making bets left and right. We're making picks. We're making predictions. You do not want to miss out on the action. You need to get BetMGM right now. And when you do it, you got to sign up with promo code NETTERS, NETTERS. And let me tell you something. Let me sprinkle some action on you right now. When you do that, you get this unbelievable opportunity that BetMGM is giving you. You can bet up to $1,500 on anything you want. Those things I just named or something else. Maybe you're a Champions League guy. I don't know. Maybe you like basketball. I don't know why you would, but maybe you do. You bet on all those things. $1,500. If you lose it, BetMGM gives it right back to you. Unbelievable. No one else is hooking you up like that. So you've got to get on the BetMGM train with us. There is no one like them. Best sportsbook in the game. Get it today.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility and requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. For what it's worth, this flight attendant crew is an LA-based crew, and we want to go home too. And I go like this. You're getting paid. You're getting paid to sit here.
Yep.
And I'm not. So don't you dare ever say, don't worry, we want to go home too. You are literally receiving money to be stuck here.
Ma'am, you're at your job.
Leave it at fire, dude. Leave it at we've put out the fire.
You had us. You won us over.
You're getting paid.
Oh, man.
You clown.
Yeah.
So, miss me with that.
Intrusive thoughts, dude. She let them win.
Boom. New pilots come in. Boom. We get on the plane. We get refueled. We take off at, I think, like 12:45.
Oh.
Maybe later. No, probably like 12. Yeah.
You're now 3 hours past when you were supposed to land.
Boom. Flight attendants take your seat for landing 3+ hours ago. We take off. We land at LAX. Where it is raining, but like, it's raining.
Listen, I was here. It was not raining that bad.
We taxi, get off. I go down. I wait in the fucking pouring rain for the cab line.
Yeah.
Get in the cab, get home, walk in at probably 1:30.
Yeah.
My shoe has a hole in it too, and my shoes were soaked from the walk from LAX to to the cab stand. Dude, soaked. Like, I literally, my sock, my left sock.
What? You are nearing 40.
Yeah.
Why are you walking around with holes in your shoes? Are you Willy Wonka?
It's
like, what are you doing?
It's a sneaky hole. It doesn't even look like a hole, but it's
I don't care.
It's only a wetness issue. It's only a wetness issue.
I have written down before to talk out on the pod and air out my grievances to shame you publicly. I have seen you when we're on the road in a hotel room with ripped boxers.
Yeah.
Like, you have holes in your underwear.
Good luck.
What are you doing? You are a dutifully employed man. Like, get shoes.
Every hole tells a story, Dan.
And boxers without holes in them.
Every hole tells a story. So I get back at 1:30 a.m. And here's what I really want to know. The United, who we like. And I'm not even tripping United. This is pretty standard, industry standard.
This happens to every airline.
Yeah. United has not reached out to me in the last week saying, here's all the money for your flight back.
Is that what you want?
And they haven't, and if I were to reach out and squeaky wheel gets the grease, if I were to reach out and squeaky wheel, which I've done in the past with stuff like this, they usually answer, but they go like this: here's $25 a credit on your next thing. And I'm not even kidding. I'm not even being hyperbolic. It's usually something so tiny. One time I had like $1,000 round trip flight to Aspen. Ever heard of it? Get butt fucked to hell with like literally days of cancellations. Remember, you took me to the airport and I had to have you come pick me back up because my flight was canceled for days. And in that flight, they gave me, I think, $200 back out of the $1,000. But I'm like, even that, dude, $200?
Yeah.
I missed 2 days of the ski trip. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
So I know airlines make no money and all their stocks are in the gutter, and it makes no sense to me because tickets are so expensive and how could you make no money?
Yeah.
But when you can't do this to people and then not refund them. If I would, dude, I don't know if Wags is on camera yet, but he has a sick jersey on right now. We got him that jersey for Christmas, ordered a men's jersey. Yeah. It came back a women's jersey.
Yeah.
And that company said, we don't do returns. And we emailed their customer service and said, I understand you don't do returns. What I'm telling you is
you sent me
the wrong thing. So you will take this back. And they were like, yes, obviously.
You're absolutely right.
This, I can't be arriving 4 hours late, getting dragged around Ontario, and then have them go, you got what you paid for. And I'm like, no, I didn't.
Dude, I think when stuff like this has happened in the past, crazy delays, what often happens, one time we were delayed at Pearson.
Yes, typical. Dude, yes.
And we got delayed like 6 hours. And they went, here's a $15 voucher for one of the airport stores.
Dude, no, yeah, I think it was like for use only on Air Canada. And I was like...
It wasn't even that, dude. It was literally for like the Hudson News in the airport. And I was like, $15?
6 hours.
And they do that on the airlines all the time. They go, you have like a $15 United credit. And I'm like, great. I'll get one of your snack time boxes. Like, that's not good. I feel like let's average it, a cross-country Boston, LA flight, that's probably 150 people, average.
Yeah.
If you gave everyone on that flight a $100 voucher, like to United, that would be worth it to me. I'd be like, thank you. $100.
Yeah.
$100 towards my next flight. I'm like, that is worth it for this inconvenience. It's probably not worth it for some of the people who missed their Sydney connection and probably their vacations are now getting cut a day short. That sucks.
Yes.
But it's like, you can't please everyone. To me, I'm like, what is $1,500?
And Dan,
or, sorry,
150.
Yeah, sorry. That's, yeah.
No, $15,000.
$15,000, right? $15,000 to United.
And I would even hear...
In this circumstance, there's probably a lot of United flights.
Yeah, oh, dude, the airport closed for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's what has to happen. And I would actually accept a sliding scale, Dan, if they went like this. Hey, the Sydney people who missed their vacation are getting more money than you, Chris, who just landed 4 hours
Yeah,
late.
anyone who missed a connection, they get $250.
And I would go, oh, totally fine. But it's the not addressing it, dude. Like, I can't even believe there isn't an email. Like, how come there's not an email? It's like, apology for the fucking shit show we put you through last night.
I had a feeling you were going to bring this up, and unfortunately, I was prepared to say, they got us by the balls, dude.
I know.
It's insane. These airlines...
These corporations...
I don't know what they're doing. These airlines, they got us by the short and curlies. There's nothing we can do. They know that we live in a society now where we've got to travel all the time. Everyone's obsessed with travel. We're flying here and there. Companies know that you can travel easily, so they put you on planes. And these airlines know that there's nothing we can do about it. There's no alternative. So they just fuck us, dude. They bend us over and they absolutely ram us. It's unbelievable.
There's no accountability in this world anymore.
No, dude. Especially with airlines. They look at me while they're fucking me and they Grinch smile.
Yeah.
And they go, what are you going to do?
Because I go, you're
going to take a bullet train?
Yeah.
And I go, that doesn't exist. And they go, you're right, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So sit back, don't recline.
Yeah.
And get fucked.
Seat back up, please.
It's fucking horrible.
Oh, dude.
And I also will say this too, dude. You are the most cursed and unluckiest person I've ever met in my fucking life, dude. And I will tell this to the listeners. I don't like... I was going to say doing things with you. I don't like traveling with you.
Yeah,
because this stuff happens to you no matter what.
Dude.
And therefore it happens to me. Like, inconveniences happen to me, and I know it's because I'm with you. Like, whatever it is, the world has decided to test you.
I'm one of God's best soldiers.
Dude, yes. You're one of God's little soldiers, dude. You're hanging on by a thread at all times because you're one of God's little soldiers that he chose to go, this is a beta test on how much before a human breaks, dude. Like, your villain arc is coming at any moment, I'm telling you. You're this nice guy. It's what I say all the time. Like, oh, he's nice. He's this nice guy. He's Chris. He'll do whatever. One day you're going to break, dude.
Yeah.
And people are going to go, did anyone see it coming? And I'm going to say, every day of my life, dude.
I'm one of the strongest
just
soldiers.
The absolute ridiculous bullshit that happens to you on a regular basis is insane.
What got lost in the story is, to your exact point here, Sandra had driven basically all the way to Ontario, and then I said, hey, turn back around, we're going back to LAX. And then on her way back, an 18-wheeler tipped over across the entire highway, and she was like dead stop traffic for like 2 hours. She barely got home before me,
dude.
And
like, Sandra had the worst Sunday night of her life because of you.
This is my fault.
Yeah. You're like, sorry.
Yep, that's my fault.
This is life with you. Unbelievable, dude. Before we get into hockey talk, can I, you said something that kind of came up. You mentioned a personal item. I think I'm out on backpacks.
What a stupid thing to say.
Is that stupid?
Yeah. Stupid.
Here's my take, dude.
You want a satchel?
Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm putting it out.
Get a briefcase, Dan.
Putting it out on the floor.
Why don't you get a briefcase and walk around with that?
Hold on. I'm thinking about it. If I'm doing a sporting event, if I'm wearing athletic clothes, I'm cool with a backpack.
Mm-hmm.
I am a big backpack guy. I've got multiple. If I'm skiing, backpack. That's great. But that's a physical activity. I have come to realize when I go to work and I bring a backpack, when I travel and I have a backpack, I don't like the way the backpack feels on my back. It gets really hot and sweaty sometimes, especially like walking around an airport. You've seen me. I opt for checking a bag so I don't have to have bags and carry-ons walking around.
Yep.
I will sometimes even go sans backpack just so I don't have to have a bag on my back. And I also think there's an element too where I feel like I look like a toddler.
Yeah, that's wrong.
It's not wrong, dude.
Yes, it is.
As an adult man, when you're dressed for a day of work or you're dressed for travel in the airport and you're not, it's like a shorter flight, you look like a toddler with a backpack on.
No, you don't, dude.
You do. I think you do. And I'm wondering if like a messenger bag or like a duffel is acceptable.
A duffel is acceptable. It's just less convenient. And you're
what
like,
if there's a shoulder strap, dude? It's the same thing.
No, it isn't.
Why?
It sits differently, dude. It's either across your body and then it's hanging on your hip. So when you're walking, it's kind of like hitting your hip.
What if I tighten it up?
So it's like way up here under your arm?
No, it's on my back.
Yeah, dude, boom, look at that. Backpack. That'd be sick. That would be sick.
Oh, that was not good for me. I just said, what if I got another bag that was on my back and it was less convenient?
You got to just get a nice one, dude. If you have an LL Bean backpack with your initials stitched in the middle.
It's the heat. I don't like the heat on my back.
That's fine. I'm just saying you don't look like a toddler.
All right. I'll stick with the backpack. I'm not happy about it.
Get on board.
Let's get into some hot ice. All right, first hot ice topic. Last night, Dallas Stars, Vegas Golden Knights.
Great game.
An unbelievable game. Tilt went to OT. Wyatt Johnson sealed the deal. But before that, crazy play. Miro Heiskanen carrying the puck up in his own zone. Mark Stone comes in, and it appeared he just like lunged at Miro's knee.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal contact. Bends his knee sideways. Miro leaves the ice. Now, huge scrum afterwards. Mark Stone keeps saying he got tripped. You look at the replay, and it does appear that Roope Hintz absolutely gets a little piece of Mark Stone's skate. Twitter ablaze. People talking about it. Obviously, so many people are pulling the Mark Stone's got a reputation, piece of shit, blah, 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 blah. Vegas fans go into war being like, he got tripped, you fucking morons. It's just classic fan bases doing what they do and blindly defending one side or the other. You've seen it. What do you think about the play?
Dude, I guess like everybody, because we were watching that game live, it looks horrible. It just looks so reckless. But when you see the replay, I don't even think it's Roope kind of gets him. Roope completely gets him. Mm. And even lingers on it. Like his stick, and dude, if you are skating, sometimes I see hockey fans get mad at people where they're like, that's barely a trip. His stick barely nicked him.
Yeah.
If anything impedes your leg at all when you're skating on ice, you can fall. Like it's the tiniest nick against my body can throw off your equilibrium and you can trip.
Yep.
I'm not saying people don't dive ever. I'm just saying it's very easy to trip someone with anything changing in your leg path.
Yeah.
And for me, this is that was not only a trip, but interference. Like that's a trip and interference that I think could have and should have been called if Miro was further away and Mark Stone was beginning his forecheck and then Roope caught him and then he slid and just like harmlessly went by Miro because he was farther away. I think they might have been like trip interference. And maybe they didn't see it, but he trips him, period. Now, with that said, I think Mark Stone could have and should have aborted his play once he was tripping. Like once he got tripped, which I passionately believe he was, I think he could have been like, oh, trying to continue my forecheck and poke check is reckless now that I have been tripped due to where I am.
You saved yourself at the end there.
I didn't save anything. I told you the goddamn exact truth.
You saved yourself at the end there. 100% Roope hits him. And if the Miro thing wasn't involved there and Mark Stone goes down, I agree. I call that interference.
What are you doing? You literally put your stick in front of his
to
tape.
the point where I am like, if Rupe Hintz were sitting here, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
What were you doing?
Like, it's one thing if you kind of veer in his way to make him have to dodge you to give Miro more time. I do that all the time on the ice. Hockey players do it all the time. But like, you actively stuck your stick out and tripped him.
Yes.
It was like really dumb. However, this is where I was going to call you dumb, but you saved yourself.
Because I'm correct.
And I am calling some Vegas Knights fans online dumb. The amount of people going, do you know how momentum works, bro? You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I like to keep it positive on here, but I am going to call people like these Twitter warriors. You're an idiot. If you're claiming he got tripped so badly that his body flung in a direction and that was all momentum. None of that was in control of Mark Stone. You're an idiot if you think that. To me, we don't know what happened, and as far as what Mark Stone did and how he got, no one can know that except him. The fact of the matter is, I think if you don't agree that Mark Stone, like you just said, actively continues to make a reaching motion for the puck, again, you're an idiot. It is very clear that he did that. And yes, that was his intent. We saw it several games ago against the Sharks. Macklin Celebrini was carrying the puck up. Mark Stone came at an angle, reached around his body, and poked it. Yeah. And it's a good play. I have something to say about that later.
Yeah.
But that's what he was going to intend to do with Miro. He got tripped up, he fell, and he continued to do it and put himself in a shit position, in a really compromised and dangerous position for Miro, and frankly, himself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like his head.
Yes. In my opinion, that was a stupid play by Mark Stone. It's unfortunate that he got tripped and was in that position, but it was still stupid. He could have gone, I got tripped. Don't still try to steal the puck.
Can I say something about that?
Absolutely.
And I might be giving him too much credit here, but I kind of read that because it's obviously happening so fast.
Dude, yeah, that I was going to say, the game is so fucking fast. So
I kind of read that as him trying to, the reason he still dove was him trying to be like, I'm not going to flop at this trip. I'm going to fight through the play.
Correct. And he was like still trying to complete his play.
He would regret that, where he's like, oh, I see now how bad of a situation this was with Miro's knee and me.
Yeah.
But in my mind, in the moment, he was going, I just got tripped, but I'm going to fucking make the play anyway.
Absolutely.
And then I was like, oh.
That's why it's a little harsh of me saying it's a stupid play. I'm not saying like you're an idiot, Mark Stone. I'm like, that was kind of dumb. Like Mark Stone made a physical decision that led to possibly a terrible injury for Miro Heiskanen. And that sucks. I've said it on Twitter a million times. It just sucks. I'm not saying, I initially was like, I'm surprised if he doesn't get a hearing. I didn't see the Rupe trip. And then I was like, oh, hand up, didn't see the trip.
Yep.
Absolutely, there should be no hearing here. There should be no suspension. There should be no fine. It's just an unfortunate play. But part of the unfortunate element of it is, I think it was a bad decision, Mark Stone. But to your point, it's split decision. So it's like, I don't like that Mark Stone did it, but I'm also not going to lampoon him for it.
Agree.
And also, we've said a million times, big Mark Stone fans, big Vegas fans, I really don't like the people being like, he's a piece of shit. Stop that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the momentum people, you're fucking
dude.
Like, you're genuinely a moron.
No, it was a thing. I'm sure I didn't hear his post games. Like, I know he's sorry, but what'd he say?
Well, I was just the one thing I hated right after Mark Stone is seen sitting there on the bench, cracking up, looking at the iPod. And I'm like, I don't know what he was looking at, but I'm like, dude, don't be doing that. Like Miro is a great player who was caught in a horrible, like Miro's the only one in that play that did nothing wrong. Dude. And like, don't be fucking yucking it up. As a guy who's on fucking LTR every other week, don't be yucking it up if you possibly blew out his knee. Yeah. That sucks.
Agreed.
But I do think, Rupe, what are you doing?
Dude,
like that is the biggest factor here. I'm like, Rupe Hintz, what the fuck are you doing?
Dan, I actually want to even go hard. We don't have to continue, but I want to. I can't stress enough how much I feel that way. In the same way you're going, hey, momentum people, you're an idiot. Hey, Rupe defenders, you're an idiot. I cannot. That play made no sense and could have been and should have been called itself. He literally went like this, clamp stick. Not even like loose stick that gets knocked away. You know what I mean? You know when you like throw your stick out there and
it was an active trip.
Clamp stick, so you will trip. And then is now going, that wasn't my fault. And I was like, well, it was certainly partially your fault.
Like truly a dumb.
I'm like,
buddy, what the fuck are you doing? So that was awful. It's one of those things, like we'll keep an eye on it, but fuck me.
I hope it's not horrible.
If he's almost certainly missing 4 nations now.
Yep.
And if that is like a season ender,
Dallas has dealt with so much too.
Let me tell you this,
God
dude.
damn.
We've been talking all about this injury. We haven't really talked about the bigger issue. I don't know. You could look it up right now. I don't know if we've heard anything, but I think he's still getting evaluated. Yeah. If Miro Heiskanen is done for the season, that is the Dallas Stars season over. Like your cup chances are completely gone. I would bet my life savings on them not winning the cup if he is done.
Yeah,
for the season.
hard to argue against you. I think they could. Cup's weird, right? I think they could win the cup, but I think I was maybe going to pick them as the favorite, and now it would be oh wow, you guys went on a miracle run, hot.
This is utterly devastating. Speaking of injuries, moving on to another terrible one. Kirill Kaprizov officially is going to be having surgery, out a minimum of 4 weeks with a lower body injury.
Billy Guerin saying it's not a season ender. He missed 12 games, came back for 3, said himself he was only at 60%, had 2 assists in his return, and then now this has happened. It sucks because he was firing to start the year. Yep. We were joking about this on our odds match the other day. He was the MVP favorite through November, you know? I think this is an interesting question, Dan, because let's go best case scenario. He's out a month, takes you to end of Feb, and he takes a couple games to warm back up. By mid to late March, he's back in perfect form, 100%, and he's probably a little bit fresher than he would have been entering into the playoff run. The Wild are coming into, let me look at it right now because this was last night. The Wilds currently sit, and the games aren't perfectly in line, but they currently sit 3 points behind the Stars, even games, and 2 points ahead of the Avs with 2 games in hand. So, and we both kind of feel like there's a talent drop-off kind of after the Avs. So I think the Wild should feel still pretty good about playoffs. I mean, you're okay, barring a free fall. So if it's like, okay, worst case or best case scenario is Kirill takes a month and a half off to get back to 100%, comes back in exactly MVP form he was in, a little bit fresher for a playoff run. You're kind of like, who cares, right?
Yes.
That's the good news. The worrying thing for me is if it's not best case scenario, because dude, I pulled these numbers, they're point leaders. Kirill in 37 games, 52 points, still leads the team. Boldy, 50 games, 45. Rossi, 50 games, 44. Zook's 37 games, 35. But you know what I mean? Kirill this reminds me of some of those Bees years when it was like pasta, or I mean, kind of right now, but like pasta or nothing.
He has 25 points over the next guy.
So I'm like, if they need him, like badly, not just like he's our best player, like. Yeah.
Now, listen, he's missed games and they've done fine, all right with him out. But like, this is, these are the dog days, right? Like this is, you fucking heard Joe Sacco say the other day, he was like, playoff hockey starts for Boston today. Yeah. And they get absolutely piss pumped by the Sabres. But teams are thinking that. They're like, it's playoff hockey, dude. Yep. Like every game matters from this point on. Toff said that on the pod a couple weeks ago. So, if you're the Wild, this blows. Like you've got a +3 goal differential on the Wild, and the 2 teams ahead of you in the Central have +36 and +59. Now you've lost your best goal scorer
by a mile. Your most productive guy.
This is like bad, not good.
Yep.
So you absolutely feel comfortable. Those 4 spots in the Central in Colorado and Minnesota, you feel comfortable. And if you're Minnesota, I think you feel way, way comfortable as far as a wild card race. After the 3 top teams in the Pacific, I think there's a big drop off.
Agree.
It's realistically the Flames are only 3 points back from the Kings. Canucks 4 points back from the Kings, but it's those 3 teams in the Pacific. Then there's 4 teams in the Central.
Yeah,
and you're gonna make the playoffs. If you're the Wild, don't panic. You're gonna make the playoffs.
You just go. And in fact, Dan, now that you're saying this, talking about it out loud, is I think you make him take as long as possible. If you're not in free fall without him, I go, dude, don't come back till fucking April.
Yeah.
Long as you're coming back, because we need you going. If you come back early and get hurt again, we are dead and our season is over.
However, this is a big time trade thing for me. If you're the Wild, I am making as big of a trade as I possibly can here for exactly what, like, you need more scoring. You need to help alleviate the situation with him gone, or you use the LTIR money. But if you're the Wild, losing in the first round this season is not something that you should just accept willy-nilly. So I would be making a move if I were the Wild.
Do you think, because his injuries timeline is currently lining up almost exactly with the trade deadline, would you wait and see for at least a bit? Like, let's say in 3 weeks, the docs go, he's projecting, he's trending great, he's going to be fine. Then maybe don't do it.
It's fucked. Like, you never know. It's an undisclosed lower body injury, and you never know what these things are. But a 4-week return is good. That means it's not a crazy ligament. But at the same time, like, these are ones that nag, or they're ones that are like, you're going to be fine. But surgery is fucking surgery.
Surgery, dude. No such thing as minor surgery.
Exactly. So it's just, I would not be comfortable at all if I were them.
Okay. Keep an eye on that. Wild making a move. I like it.
Yeah. Definitely got to make a move. Speaking of other moves, the drama in Vancouver continues, and team president Jim Rutherford decided to publicly acknowledge that there is a big issue going on between JT Miller and Elias Pettersson.
Let me read some of this.
Please.
It says, JT Miller and Elias Pettersson have a strained relationship that has negatively impacted the Vancouver Canucks. And Rutherford said he isn't sure how to rectify the problem, admitting it may require trades he doesn't want to make. Those trades may include Miller, Pettersson, and even Norris Trophy winning defenseman Quinn Hughes if a rebuild is required. Quote, if we were going to completely start over, that means he goes, Rutherford told the Globe on Tuesday of Hughes, who is in his second season as Canucks captain. And we'd like to figure out a way that he's here forever. I feel like for a long time there was a solution here. This one's interesting to me. I feel like for a long time there was a solution here because everybody worked on it, including the parties involved. But it only gets resolved for a short period of time and then it festers again. So it certainly appears like there's not a good solution that would keep this group together. We're talking about two of our top players, certainly our two best forwards. It can be really tough on a franchise, not only present but into the future. When you're planning on peaking this team into a contending team and then you find out that's not going to happen, or at least it's not going to happen with the group we have now, then you have to put together a new plan.
Dude,
I'm like, holy hell, dude.
Dude, what a fucking dumpster fire.
Dude.
What a dumpster fire. And I'll say this, man. This is the situation.
Yep.
Clearly, it's the situation. So this is not Jim Rutherford's fault, essentially, ultimately, to say that this is what's going on, but to publicly admit it. Why are you doing that?
Okay.
Why?
Question.
Why?
Dan,
Why?
question.
Dude, everyone already knew. Everyone already assumed. We talk about leverage all the time. Your team president has just told 31 teams in the NHL, we are a fucking flaming ship sinking to the bottom of the ocean, and we desperately need to sell assets to become afloat again. And you just told everyone that.
Yep.
Why would you ever? Why would you
I
ever
have two
do
thoughts.
that?
Two thoughts. One, and so the second one answers your question more directly than the first, but just hear me out on the first. First one, the dude who owns the Mets, I forget his name, but he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
And the Mets,
Is it Uncle Steve now?
Yeah, maybe.
Steve
Yeah. And sorry for not the baseball fans, but Pete Alonso has been a Met for a long time. The Mets signed Soto, and Pete Alonso's in this tough contract negotiation. And very recently, Steve Cohen went on a panel and was like, here's exactly what Alonso's asking for. Here's exactly, just laid it out.
Yeah. And
people were like, hell yeah, Steve. Just because it was like, all this shit happens behind closed doors normally. And I kind of fuck with him being like, I'm a fan of the Mets too. I want us to win. Like, here's the way the fucking world works. I'm trying to make this happen. So part of me loves that Rutherford is like, enough with the smoke and mirrors and the shadows. What's going on? Here's the exact situation. Those two hate each other. We thought the solution was fixed in-house because they told us it was. And turns out it was just festering and it blew up again. Get off my back. It's not my fault. So I kind of love it. The second point, to try to answer your question more directly, maybe it's this type of situation, not with PD and JT because that's fucking over. But in terms of the Quinn Hughes comments, remember when Wish was on a while ago and I was like, I can't believe Drury is like, Kreider's for sale, everybody's for sale.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing? And Wish said maybe it's a kick in the ass to a Zeba. Yeah. They're like, your boy's about to get traded if you don't fucking pick it up. Maybe this is kind of that type of motivation tactic of this might cost you Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
Boys. So if you're interested in taking a generational D-man and just letting him go play somewhere else, dude, if this unacceptable, Soldier. if you lose a Quinn Hughes over this,
dude, even whispering Quinn Hughes' name was preposterous to me. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I will say this, dude, if that is in fact real and they're like, we're going to move Quinn Hughes, if you are the New Jersey Devils,
Yeah.
and you do not go and get him, like I would trade Dougie Hamilton, I would trade Simone Nemec, and I would trade Seamus Casey and a first-round pick for them yesterday, and get Quinn on that team. Unbelievable.
Incredible.
But, dude, it's just the fact that this now looks like they're going to have to deal both of them.
Yeah.
Like, people are now talking about, like, where does Petey go? People mention Buffalo, which, like, I can't even wrap my head around that. I just can't fathom a world where, like, Vancouver was a team last year where, like, they might go to the Cup, dude. And then going in this year, they were like, are they going to take the crown of the Pacific? And now they're like this. We're actually going to trade everybody,
dude. We are in a full start over rebuild.
Like, you get Quinn Hughes on maybe like the best deal in the NHL. You sign Petey to a massive deal. You've got JT to on term, and you're like this. We got to trade them all, dude. Like, what are you thinking if you're Brock Besser right now?
Yeah, dude. Because he said that too. They're like, Besser could be on the team. You know, everybody's available.
Are you looking around going, what the fuck is wrong? And like, Quinn, dude, I feel terrible for Quinn. Quinn's named the captain. He wins fucking Norris. He's having another career year, and he must just be sitting there at the captain being like, are you guys fucking joking me?
Dude,
what is wrong with
I remember
you
thinking last year, Dan,
I would fucking hate those two if I were any other member of that team.
Same, especially if you're Quinn.
I would absolutely fucking hate them. I'd be like, can you two fucking bitches go outside and get in a fucking fist fight and get over your goddamn bullshit and get back on this team? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, dude. We are back to 2 years ago when you and I were talking, and I was like, how the fuck is this team not good? Look at how much talent they have. They figured it out for 1 year, and then these two just fucking despise each other for no fucking reason, and it's literally destroying the entire franchise.
Yes.
They've got the president of the team being like, we are going to go back to a rebuild. All of your best players are like 25 old, and you're like, blow it up, dude.
We're trading everybody.
Blow up the fucking team. This is insane.
Last year, I remember thinking that Bo Horvat must be so bummed because the Canucks are sick and the Island. I know they snuck in, but like the Islanders are bad. And then now I'm like, actually, he's probably like, I will happily sit on the last place Islanders team because we're having fun.
Yeah.
And even with Patrick Waugh yelling at us versus whatever the fuck was going on in that locker room.
This fucking soap opera, dude. And as we say all the time, like, we don't know all of the details of what's going on, but it is so clear. Like, this is a fucking clown car that is going on up in British Columbia. Are you kidding?
Tragedy, dude.
With this entire ordeal.
And it pisses me off. I don't know what they're supposed to say, but it just, looking back, it pisses me off on all the comments. And unfairly, most of them have been JT because he's just kind of the one with the mic shoved in his face all the time. But it pisses me off all the comments of like, we're fine. What? I'll bring Petey out right now. Like, I'm happy to talk. There's no issue here. And I'm like, dude, tell me you don't like my fucking necktie.
For real. For real.
Crazy.
Like, I don't even know how to process.
But dude, one of them is gone before the deadline. Period. I just don't think you can do this. I don't think you can continue this season.
Dude, obvious. There's no fucking planet. If there was a BetMGM odds on this of are these two people going to be on the team, I would literally put every cent you have.
Yeah.
But what I'm reading between the lines of Rutherford's comments is it's like it's gotten so bad that this is literally the scene in Entourage where Ari fires both twins.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you two, how does one embryo produce two fucking losers?
Yeah.
Like, it's gotten so ugly that I think Rutherford is basically being like, even if we trade one, everyone in this locker room now looks at Petey and goes, thanks a lot, dude.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you two that we had to do this? So now everyone has a negative feeling towards him. So they're like, we've got to trade him too.
Great call.
Like, that's what I'm reading between the lines and Rutherford. And again, like you said, the ball bag to say this shit to the media as the president of the team.
Love it.
It's insane. I respect your take of loving it. I think it's absolutely wild. But again, GMs talk. People know shit. So many people on Twitter, and I said at the beginning of this, like, you have removed any leverage that you have. There's a world where he makes that statement because it's very clear that he's like, we have no leverage.
I think it was already gone. That's what I was about to say.
Everyone fucking knows.
We've
got dipshits like you and me on podcasts talking about it every other week. Everyone knows there's no leverage to be had. So it's gotten this bad. What a joke.
Yeah.
Insane.
I've got 3 We've got 3 quick hitters to discuss here, and there's kind of a good transition for 2 of them. Actually, let's just do this one first. Taking a quick break to talk to you guys about our partnership with Bauer, and more specifically, the Twitch stick. It has changed everything for me, and it could change everything for you. It's got Twitch taper technology, which allows you to flex your stick further and it will recoil faster. It's the most fluid motion I've ever seen. The thing weighs 345 grams. It might as well be nothing. It might as well be air. It's insane. And the shaft has enhanced protection on it with this rounded feature, so it's not going to break as easily. I know you're rattled about that, but all this thing's going to do is put more pop in your shot. And if you don't want that, then you either are Alex Ovechkin or you're insane, because this thing revolutionized the way I shoot the puck. The boys on the beer league team I'm playing on, they got one. Every single one that got one, I think there was 5 of them maybe, all had a tuck in their first game. Lightning quick release, under the bar every time. This, and it looks cool. It looks cool too. I love this stick. I genuinely really love playing with it. You will love playing with it too. So go over to Bauer.com and check out all the stuff they've got to offer. They got incredible training stuff, and the dangler, you saw me using it. It's incredible. But the Twitch is the real deal. So go get yourself one right now. We have talked a lot about the Avs not being done. Mm-hmm. Of course, there was a ton of there's been Sid speculation to the Avs for a long time because of relationship with Nate. And then there was the Saravelli tweet, and then there was the Biz tweet, and then everybody was kind of talking about it. We've talked about it. And from a personal level, I would love it. I would love it to happen. I think you would too, but I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yep.
Sid has had, I almost pulled all of them, but Sid has had multiple quotes over the last, when did the Moose trade happen? 72 hours ago? No, Friday, even longer. Sid has had multiple quotes over the last 5 days that are like, I am a Penguin. I am not leaving. I don't know how many times I have to say this. I don't want to talk about this more. And people inside the organization that are close to him have said, it's ridiculous. He is so content he believes, first of all, that the Penguins will turn it around before he hangs up his skates. Not this year. I'm just saying he believes I will compete for cups again before I retire. And he also believes that he's like, I'm staying here.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into the Wilson get traded things. We've talked about that a million times. I want to ask you this one question.
Yeah.
If that is all true, if we believe him at his word, and I'm not calling, people say shit, whatever, because we've heard other shit from people that know shit too.
And ultimately, he has a no move.
Yes.
Nothing, like there's nothing that can be done if he's like, I am not moving.
If all of that is true, you know how a lot of heavy baseball episode today, but you know how we always talk about Mike Trout, and he's like, I'm cool, dude. I'll just sit here on the Angels and miss the playoffs every fucking year. And I'm like, you are possibly the best baseball player to ever live, and no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
Because you didn't compete. Obviously, Sid's competed. He's won 3 cups, whatever. Army says as long as Sid's happy playing on his line and putting up points, he doesn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, if Sid is like, said to me in private, if he went, dude, I am completely fine if the Penguins just miss the playoffs for the next 5 years, I'll just ride it out there. That is surprising to me.
I completely agree.
And I'm kind of like, why, dude? Like, don't care that like Ovi's out here on a sick team again? And no, I know he didn't leave, but just like, you don't care? That's kind of like, that bums me out.
Dude, I'd almost retire. I'd rather retire and like play in a local Pittsburgh beer league if you still want to get out on the ice. But at the same time, it's like the Joe Thornton thing. It's like, you just love the boys, dude. Like, it doesn't fucking matter.
But Joe, you're not comparing him, but like Joe went. He tried to get a cup.
Going. Yeah. But he never got one. Mm-hmm. Big difference.
But he was like, get me on, these Sharks teams suck. Like, and I've been, I'm sure he feels a Shark in his core, but he's like, send me to Toronto.
My point is like, he didn't have cups. Like Sid
has
3.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Sid has 3. He's got a gold medal. Like
Good point.
I could see a world. I'm so with you. I would be shocked, genuinely shocked if Sid was like, dude, I don't care. I don't like, listen, if the Penguins were good and we were fighting, of course, I'd be absolutely dialed. I don't care enough to get one more cup to leave here.
Yeah.
That would be shocking to me. Now, the bigger thing, dude, is, and, we can confirm Dubas had a meeting with certain agents around the NHL space, and it was very animated. People saw that, we don't know what that means. If I'm Kyle Dubas, Pittsburgh Penguins, you are missing the playoffs this year.
Oh, dude, they're brutal.
Like, it's, we don't even need...
Brutal.
In case there are any hangers-on.
Yep. It was me. I was the hanger-on.
You're not making the playoffs.
It's over.
If I am Kyle Dubas and I'm doing my fucking job, and I'm also here to, spank the fan base, like, dude, you guys don't matter. I'm sorry. Like, I know that you are required to make money. You need to go to games, but like, you're going to games. And this team, after Sid, because here's the reality. People go like this. Well, if Sid's gone, we're not going to games. Sid's going to retire someday.
Yeah.
And if you go, well, Sid retired and we actually have no assets. We have nothing to look forward to for the next several years. So it's going to be absolute shit for 10 years. Then you're fucked.
Yeah.
But if you go, Sid's going to be gone maybe 2 years earlier than he would have, and we actually have a huge future. I think that's something that Kyle Dubas needs to be thinking, and I'm sure he is. So my point is, answering your question, I am absolutely shocked if that is the case with Sid. But I also respect it and understand it if that's how he feels. I think the next course of action is, if you are Kyle Dubas, I am trading every fucking single one of them.
Dude, you have to.
I am walking up to Sid, I'm walking up to Gino, I'm walking up to Letang, and I'm going like this. We are not making the playoffs this year. We're not making the playoffs next year. We're not making the playoffs the year after that. As long as you guys are on this team with the contracts you have, I would like to trade all of you. I would like you to give me a 3-team list, each of you, where you're willing to go. And if you say, fuck you, I'm not willing to go, understood. But I'm letting you know right now as the GM, I need to trade you.
Yeah, because
that is what I would do.
Yep.
It's what I would do. And it's shit, but I'm telling you, man, like, if I were a Penguins fan right now, I would be like, please God, do that.
Yes.
Please God, do that. Because it is, when I look at the Blackhawks last season, having 3 picks in the first round, when I look at the Sharks and them playing with Will Smith and Celebrini right now, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. This is exciting. Like, I want the next one. Who is the next guy that, like, what jersey is my kid going to be wearing? That is what I would be thinking. And this fucking spin cycle that we've been in with the Penguins is just like, it's such a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah.
And Sid, untouchable, sure. If you want to just let Sid, fade off into the mist, that is fine. He has earned it. He's earned whatever the fuck he wants. But like the other guys, I would be like this. Every day, if I were doing this, I'd go like this. I would like to trade you. And they go like this. No, fuck
you guys let me know when that's cool.
I'd go, sounds good. I would literally walk up to them to the next day and go, hey, have you thought about that? I'd like to trade you still. It's just a waste of time.
Correct. Speaking of trades.
Yes.
We have potentially another Ewing theory situation going on, Dan.
It's actually true. Very, very true. New York Islanders, not a great team. Not having a good season. Another team has a ton of talent. We're not really sure what's going on. The New York Islanders, however, are 8-2 in their last 10. They won 5 straight. They're, by most accounts, would say best defenseman on the team, Noah Dobson, has not been playing recently. A lot of deep Islanders fans have been in our DMs complaining about Dobson, saying he's turning the puck over too much. Yes, he puts up points, but blah, 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 blah. He is on a $4 million cap hit that expires this season. And then he is RFA. Do you consider trading Noah Dobson? You are missing the playoffs, certainly, this season.
Oh, yeah.
You have a 25-year-old former 70-point defenseman who is on LTIR, but coming back this season and is RFA on a $4 million, very, very, very doable
wonderful deal.
And is RFA, team controlled. You get a fuck ton for that guy. Do you consider trading Noah Dobson?
The reason I think maybe yes, just kind of looking at their lines, is because they have some older guys, obviously, that normally makes me say, don't trade those chips because you got to go right now.
Yep.
But they don't have the older guys that are winning you a cup right now.
Yeah.
I don't think. To the point where I'm like, you know what, boys? The old veteran crew on this team is gonna leave the game without winning a cup on Long Island. I
would be blown off this planet if Brock Nelson and Kyle Palmieri weren't traded at this deadline.
Yeah.
Like they are perfect additions for so many teams, the two of them.
Yeah.
$6 million for Brock, $5 million for Kyle Palmieri.
But then in that regard, isn't there a chance though that you go, okay, like Dobson's one of the cornerstones we build around with whatever assets we acquire from all these guys.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. Like I think Brock maybe gets you a first. I don't think Palmieri does.
Me neither.
So like but dude, I'm saying Dobson gets you
Hall.
Dobson gets you a first round pick and a prospect.
But isn't that prospect you hope Noah Dobson eventually?
Probably.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I think
he's a little
it's
bit
very
cheaper. You
clear
reset the clock. Yeah.
Yeah. This team is 3 years out, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. And God, Dobson might ask for a lot of money. which is fine. Was it 70-point year last year? Yeah. 70 and 79 last year.
Unbelievable season.
But I guess, yeah, I think it's a tough one to swallow. I don't know. The fans are turning on him, though. It's an interesting take.
The reason I bring it up is I've been shocked how many Islanders fans have been in our DMs who are like, Noah Dobson fucking stinks. And I'm like, well, chill. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's just one of these things. Like, is this a hard decision that you make? Like, do you make this hard decision and go,
you know what, dude? I get on the phones.
I hear. I
see what's out there.
I give it a listen, dude.
Because if there's a huge package coming back, I go done. And if not, then I go, then wait, because it's fine.
And he's got no trade protection. You can send him anywhere you want.
And you try to ask the GMs to keep their mouth shut. And you go, thank you. Don't tell everybody I'm trying to trade Noah Dobson.
Even if you do, like, again, like you've got all the power here. He's team controlled.
I know. I wouldn't want him. I wouldn't want that in his head.
You wouldn't want him to know.
Yeah, I want him to be like, dude, you're my cornerstone.
Well, we just blew that.
Sorry, boys.
Sorry, dude. Sorry. But I think it's absolutely something that
yeah, me too.
Can I talk to you before we quickly move on to one more possible trade situation?
Yes, please. I love this time.
Now, this one's hard.
Oh, shit.
Looking at the standings, in a respectable fifth place.
In the division?
In the Met.
Oh, okay.
The New York Rangers. New York Rangers just got shit pumped by the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, they did.
And to me, that was a game
same
that went for Rangers fans who were like, dude, we're on a heater. We're on the come up. We're coming back. Rangers are 6-2-2 in their last 10. They've lost 2 in a row. That should have been the game that went, dude, I've been saying this to you in private. This whole month of January, Rangers fan being like, dude, like we're buzzing. We are back. They've got a lot of good wins. In my opinion, really the only impressive wins in that run was Vegas and Dallas, I think. Actually, I think they might have lost to Dallas in
keep going. I thought there was another one, but
they're playing a lot of middle of the pack to low pack teams. Mm-hmm. And then they just played the Carolina Hurricanes and lost 4-0. And that felt to me like that should open the eyes to the reality of what this Rangers team is. If you are a Rangers fan and you are...
That's a good point about you, actually.
Looking at this situation.
Can I give you January?
Yes.
Beat the Bruins.
Not a good team.
Lost to the Caps.
Yep, good team.
Beat the Blackhawks.
Not a good team.
Lost to the Stars.
Good team.
Beat the Devils in overtime.
In the midst of their absolute freefall.
Yep. Beat Vegas.
Good team.
In Vegas. Lost to the Avs. Beat Utah.
Not a great team.
Beat the Blue Jackets after a 0-0 game and they won in a shootout.
Yep.
Lost to the Habs. Beat Ottawa. Beat the Flyers.
Not a good team.
Lost to the Avs. Lost to the Canes.
Yeah. This is my point.
That's the entire month
Vegas was the one good win. So I still think the Kreider, Zibanejad, like people talking about possible trades there are on the table. If you're a Rangers fan, how do you feel about Artemi Panarin?
I think
this was a listener request topic.
Oh, okay. I love this. I'm going to pull up his stats.
Yep.
I have been, long listeners know that I have been a chronic underrater
of Artemi Panarin.
Of Artemi Panarin.
And I have been like, this dude is a top 10 player in the league, and it's not even debatable.
And I was like, I knew he was good, but he's
insane. Very good.
And especially kind of watching the Rangers run last year more closely.
Yep.
Tremendous hockey player. His points, I know last year was the first year he ever went over 100, but he had seasons that were trending that way where he didn't get enough games.
The shortened season. You absolutely would have had it.
But 2 years ago, 92 and 82, right?
Yeah.
Like that's very solid.
Insane. It's insane.
Yep.
That's not very solid.
Yeah, it's very
insane.
Yeah.
Any team,
I would say 100 is insane. 100 plus, I'm like, insane year. Awesome.
Yeah, I suppose he's on an $11+ million cap hit. Yeah. If you're getting over 90 points, I'm like this. Fuck yeah, dude.
Good job. Like,
frankly, maybe I'm a little old school on this. I'm a point per game guy, dude.
It's different now, though.
The points are different now, but I'm still like, that is such good production. Mm-hmm. Like, if you are on a $9 million or more contract and you have point per game, I'm like this. Good job.
You agree.
Like, there's like Leon making $14 million next year. If he gets like 82 points, I'd be like, I need a little more from you.
Yeah.
Just because he is what he is. Yeah. 14 mil is absurd. But like, I think 92 is great.
Yep. So Panarin has 52 and 48.
Yeah.
He's got 21 goals. So, he's trending towards, like, he went 30, 31, off, 32, off, and then 40 fucking 9 last year. So he's like a low 30s goal scorer.
Yep.
Traditionally.
And he's trending towards a 88 point season?
Yeah, he's trending towards, call it an 88 point season with 30, mid to low 30 goals. And I'm like, now, I haven't been watching the Rangers as close this year because they haven't been very good.
Yes.
And maybe people are like, his game's gone to hell. It's, whatever.
Yep.
So I'll hear all that. But looking at the numbers and the Rangers games I have seen, I'm like, I don't know. Did you expect 120 again?
Well, I think so. Because, dude, at the start of the season,
he's 33.
And I'm actually going to, I won't say whose name, but through 15, 20 games, they were buzzing. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they were like top of the division, and Panarin was out of control. Like it felt like he had 3 points a night. I was like, this fucking guy is insane. And I was at dinner with 2 players who are in the division they play in.
Where was this dinner?
It was in...
I'm just going to try to deduce who it is.
It was in LA. I mean, I'll just tell you after we record.
Okay.
But you know this story. I was at dinner with 2 players, and they play in the same division, and they were like, dude, Rangers are sick. And I said to them, this team is a 500 team if Shesterkin isn't saving them games. And he was like, no way. And I was like, I'm telling you. And now here we are, and they're just slightly above 500. And Panarin has slowed down a little bit. He's 33 years old. He's on an $11.6 million cap hit, and he is not a historically good playoff performer.
Correct.
You have an aging core, and people are asking tons of questions about this Rangers team. What do you do moving forward? Again, that is a huge cap hit. I don't know how you move a guy like him, but if that were on the table, what do you think Rangers fans think about
if
that?
They trade him?
Yeah.
I think Rangers fans, see how far out they are on the wild
Again,
card.
full no move.
Yep. I think Rangers fans...
And I want to be clear again. This was a fan-requested topic.
Rangers fans are 3 points out of a wild card spot.
Yep.
I guess maybe you could argue 5 if... Well, they got games in hands of the Bees. I was going to say Tampa has a game in hand. Whatever.
Yeah.
They're a handful of points out.
And I've said I think they're making the playoffs.
And they think that... I think most Rangers fans think they're making the playoffs still.
Agree.
And if they
Completely
traded Panarin right now, that would be a... We are not making the playoffs move.
It would be the Caps when they made all those trades.
Yeah. And then made
Boston.
it anyway. Yeah.
Like they traded Orlov. They traded Hathaway. And like everyone was like, whoa. No, they didn't.
They missed that year? Okay.
Yeah. But they were like in the playoff
They're in the playoffs
but they were like,
already,
we're making an executive decision, which by the way, has fucking paid off, baby. Holy
Insane.
moly.
So yeah, if they did that, I think Rangers fans would be pissed because they go, we are making the playoffs still, and we have the goalie who can steal playoff series, and we have the firepower that when they're going right is good, even though I don't agree with that part, that they believe we could literally win the cup this year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you can't, but they would riot if they traded Panarin.
Yeah, okay. I think it's interesting. It's one of the, I think I'm a little horny right now because of the Moose trade. And, we talked to a bunch of buds in the hockey world, and ultimately blockbuster trades are good for the game. Mm-hmm. They are. The reason we don't see them is because of no move clauses.
Yep.
For, fans who loved seeing that Moose trade who were like, holy shit, like why doesn't this happen more? That was a needle in a haystack of
perfect storm.
Both Natchez and Rantanen not having full no moves yet, being able to be moved. That's why it happens. But I do think it would be interesting. And a lot of this stuff happens behind the scenes, but I think GMs, you get one of these from me. You get a green light from me. Have the balls to make these calls. And it's been interesting, right? This season, we've got it with Drury calling out Kreider. Mm-hmm. We've got it with Rutherford calling out PD and JT and Quinn.
Yeah.
Like some of these presidents and GMs are now being very comfortable being like, star players with no moves, you're not fucking safe. Mm-hmm. Like, I am making calls about you. Green light to do that, dude. Be more cutthroat. It's more entertaining for the league, and frankly, sometimes it's what your team needs. So I love it.
Me too.
Powers rankings. Are the Islanders in here?
Dude, no, but it's the conversation we always have when the Blue Jackets have won 5 straight, and I'm like, I want to give them flowers. I mean, longtime listeners will know we used to do specifically hottest teams of the week.
Yes.
In which case the Islanders would be one. They would have gotten the one star this week.
They're hot as shit.
But this is the 5 best teams in the league.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
And they are not the best team in the league or our top 5 team in the league.
Yeah.
Period. And actually, Dan, I have a for me, one is a return to glory team.
Come on.
Who dominated this spot at the beginning of the season and then fell out.
Yeah.
But it's the Winnipeg Jets.
Has to be. Absolutely has to be.
Dude, they look so fucking dynamic when I catch their games. It's like my boy Kyle Connor is like a stud, but Scheifele is nasty. Hellebuck's a moron, obviously, but the puck moving back from the blue line is so
by the
clean.
way, folks, that's a good moron.
Yeah.
He meant that in a positive way.
It's they were so good to start that I said, that start pretty much made the playoffs for you. And I'm looking forward for that dip when I'm like, the Jets aren't that good.
Yeah.
And
they're a Wagoon.
Hot damn, the Jets are that good, dude.
They have a stamp of Wagoon for me.
God, Velarde.
Dude.
Firing.
We mentioned this the other day. Thank God the Los Angeles Kings are playing well. By the way, I meant to bring this up in hot ice. Dewey's playing tonight.
Oh, yeah. He's on the story.
He's on the story, but it's good to say in the pod. This will obviously come out after his game. They're absolute cinema that they're playing the Florida Panthers.
I know.
And Matthew Tkachuk. We talked to him today. It's to see a almost 20-year vet this excited is so fucking
awesome.
cool. Like, he is so pumped. I'm calling it right now. 2 assists.
Ooh.
2 assists in his debut against the Panthers.
I love it.
The fact, thank God, that the Kings are doing so well, because, dude, their trade to get PL and then their dismissal of PL, it's just all of it.
Everyone is flourishing.
Like,
like everywhere they've sent assets.
You traded Sean Dursey to the Yotes, who are now Utah. You've traded Brock Faber, by the way. People don't know that. Brock Faber was Kings property. And then you trade Iafallo, you trade Kupari, you trade Gabe Velarde, and you get PL, who you then immediately trade after 1 season, and you get Darcy Kemper, who's been fantastic.
Yeah.
That's why I said, thank God.
Yeah.
But like, you look at Velarde, who's just been healthy this year, and he's almost at a point per game clip. You're just like, fuck, that would be nice to have on the power play and on that middle. It's so thank God they're good. But to back what you were saying,
Jets won.
To me, Edmonton 2.
Really? Over Caps?
Yeah, only because the Caps just lost 1.
Yeah.
Edmonton's just on a 3-game winning streak, 7-3-0 in their last 10. Cappies are 7-1-2. Cappies are still, top of that division. But dude, Edmonton is just like you said, they very quietly / not so quietly took over first place in the Pacific.
It's just mental, dude.
And dude, it's just like Vegas is fucking slipping like crazy. They're 3-5.
Dude, they've been so bad.
They've been so bad.
They always do this. I feel like it's like every January Vegas blows.
It's crazy.
Usually I'm like, it's because they're hurt, but this year they're just like, we're not hurt, but we just blow in January.
And then they blew too much last year.
Yeah.
And I'm like curious what they do this year. But dude, Edmonton's just fucking nuts. Like they are, and it's the same shit, dude. It is the same 2 people winning them every single game. And how sustainable is that? Took you to Game 7 last year of the Stanley Cup Final. But I don't know how sustainable it is, but ultimately it's like teams just cannot beat them.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. They're my 2.
Okay, I'll give you that. So Winnipeg, Edmonton, Washington.
Cappies
top
then
3
for
teams
me.
in the league.
Cappies then for me. And I think I want to go Dallas, Carolina after that. I want to give Carolina some flowers.
Me too. Actually, those are the 2 teams I want. What order? Is that the order you want?
No, I would probably go Carolina. Carolina, like I think Dallas is
I don't know, but
maybe a little bit better, but Carolina just looks good. Like,
and they pushed some chips in. I'll give them credit for that.
And like Halsey and Rantanen on the score sheet immediately.
Yeah.
It's like,
okay,
I kind of like how they look.
Okay, so Winnipeg, Edmonton, Washington, Carolina, Dallas. Top 5 teams in the league.
Yep. Powers rankings.
I love it.
Let's get into our starting 6. Left wing. Is there a chance this team is back? Flip Forsberg. Boom.
Dude.
Remains on a heater. He has 12 points in his last 5 games, 10-game point streak. I mean, dude, that's our boy, friend of the program, and he's absolutely buzzing. Is it too little, too late?
It is. We looked at it last week.
And we're talking about the Central. Like, you guys, you're dead.
It is, but dude, you know what's crazy? That they've they've started, and obviously that line, that Flip Factor Nyquist line last year was nails and took them everywhere they wanted to go last year.
Yep.
But funny to me how Flip's firing and the boys are looking good, and they're right now they're playing Flip, Stammer, Marshy on the first line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no way. The two fucking huge studs you had to get, you just play on a line.
Maybe you should have played them.
That's crazy.
Together.
So yeah, obviously hindsight 2020, and again, that line was so great last year, so it's hard to bitch, but fuck, man, I wish they could have seen this action a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's also funny to me, dude, like he's obviously not having a great year, but all the not on us to say shit talk, but all like the disaster of like, Jesus Christ.
Are you about to say Stammer?
Yeah, like
what is his? I just looked this
tough
up.
bid for Stammer, and it's just like he's got 33 and 48. Like he's on pace for like
how many goals does he have?
17.
Yeah,
like he's gonna have like
he's gonna score 30 goals.
He's gonna score probably 30 goals because he's hot.
Yeah,
he's probably gonna score 30 goals. He's gonna finish the season with 65, 70 points, and I'm like, wasn't that bad?
Not that bad, dude. Yeah,
so fun.
Christ. Okay, center, we're going Jack Eichel. We actually went Hurdle last week, and he could have had it again, but Eich's on a 7-game point streak of his own, 8 points in his last 5. We were mentioning this earlier with the Mark Stone hit. We watched that whole game last night. Eichel is so good.
Dude, he is. We talked about it when we did our fucking MVP odds. Like, dude, people in the NHL don't understand how good Jack Eichel is.
Dude, I watched a play where the Vegas D came around the net, didn't have an outlet on the half wall, and had Jack in front, but he was kind of had someone right behind him. And that's obviously a dangerous play. No coach would ever tell you to do that, not at a high level. Don't pass it to the middle there. But they pass it to Eichs. He collects the pass, immediately like dangles it to his backhand to protect from the forward right on him, gets around him, but now he's up against his own wing on the half wall, who's trying to get out of the way. And Eichs like puts it through his wing, his own legs, because he was like, look out, dude. Yeah. Puts it through his own legs, like cuts it back, and then hits the wing on the far side, weak side breakout, and Vegas is off and running. And I was like, that is so clean,
dude. I think he low key might have the best vision in the NHL.
Great passer,
like his just strength on the puck. He's a fucking moose
on the back check.
Don't understand.
He bodied someone in front of the net on one play and kind of got outmaneuvered. Yeah. And then Hill made a great save, and Eichel like slammed his stick on the ice. Yeah, because he's like, that's my fucking guy. You know, just such a complete player. So fun to watch.
He's an absolute beast, dude. Right wing, we're going Pasta again, another repeat, but he's on an 8-game point streak, 9 in his last 5. Star of the week for the NHL. I mean, dude, amidst the disasters going on in Boston and a slow start for him, this run of the last month to 2 months, I would say, for Pasta.
I think this month especially, in 2025.
This month especially, is a wake-up call for all of the doomsday Bruins fans who are like, dude, fucking trade him, man. Like, he doesn't have the juice. Like, he is a generational talent. He is arguably the most talented Boston Bruin I would say he's certainly the most talented Boston Bruin that they have had since Bork or Joe. Probably.
Yeah, I guess Joe.
But like he is an all-time Bruin. Mm-hmm. He's an insane player.
Left D, we're giving it to Quinn because through all this bullshit.
Dude, seriously.
It's on a 6-game point streak, 8 points in his last 5, 4 goals in his last 5. He is just a class act. And like you said earlier, he must fucking hate these two dudes. Oh. He's like, what are you doing?
Hate the situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's no such thing as noise if you are a Quinn Hughes. That's what I'm learning. It doesn't matter what's going on. The team isn't performing. The locker room's a shit show. But he is like, you know what you're getting with me, which is massive top of the league defensive production and Norris quality D.
Yeah, elite. Cale Makar on right D. He's got 5 goals in his last 5 games, 18 on the season. He might score 30. It'll be the first time since Mike Green. And it's, I think, like the last 30 years that a defenseman could score.
Yeah, no
30.
defenseman has scored. Yeah. Do you think he does it?
No.
He's on pace for 29 right now.
I don't think he does unless he gets close, and then I think he'll be like, that'd be kind of cool.
Me too.
I think he'll go.
Because he had 28 in 2022.
Yeah. It's Cale is such a funny situation in that Quinn Hughes every year does something so amazing that we all go, holy shit. Quinn Hughes is so good, and he remains the second best defenseman in the league.
Yeah.
It just, Cale is so otherworldly.
His skating is crazy, dude.
Absolutely absurd.
Goalie, we're going Cam Talbot. Had a couple options here. Sorokin's been awesome. He was in the conversation. But Cam Talbot, 3-0 this week, including shutting out the Bolts. He's 4-1 in his last 5. He did get lit up by the Bolts. But I love it. I love to see it because he was an all-star last year, and he gets sent to Detroit, and it's kind of like that's been an issue for them in their woes this year. And
one of the most serviceable guys on planet Earth. Unbelievable.
Hell of a week. Great job, Cam.
Fantastic stuff. That is our starting 6. Let's get into a game.
Do it.
Get a little bit of trivia, dude.
Okay.
10-8-6-4-2 trivia.
Yep. Trivia Factorial.
Trivia Factorial. For those who are new to this game, I have 5 trivia questions for CP. The answer is a player, and the questions get progressively easier. If Chris goes for the answer on the first question, he gets 10 full points if he gets it right. If he doesn't, he gets 0 points, and the game is over.
Yeah, anytime I guess, if it's wrong, I lose.
Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
Question number 1.
I got a 4 last time, too.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
Question number 1. This player, a top Canadian prospect, was drafted in the first round of the OHL draft by the Saginaw Spirit. He had his rights traded to the North Bay Battalion and then ultimately played in the USHL.
Oh, interesting. So he was a first-round OHL player.
Draft pick.
Draft pick.
Then that team traded his rights to another OHL team, and then he played in the USHL.
Dude, that is interesting. And I feel like someone actually comes to mind about that. Oh, played in the USHL. Oh, okay. I'm not ready to guess yet, but there's a train of thought there that if another fact comes around, I might know it.
I like it, dude. So we're moving on.
Yep.
Question number 2.
For 8 points.
Yes. This player became the second Canadian ever to win gold in the World Juniors and World Championship in the same year, joining Jonathan Toews.
Sick stat, dude. Sick stat. Okay. Did you say a year? No, of course you didn't. No. On the drafts, yeah.
I thought about it, but those would have been too easy for questions 1 and 2, I think.
Yeah. So he won a World Junior gold and a World Championship gold. And that sometimes is super far apart because you're like the vet on the World Championship team. And sometimes it's... Oh, well, did you say same year?
Yes. I was going to say, Chris, you're ignoring probably the most important part of that question.
He won World Juniors and... Okay.
And
so he's like a young...
the second Canadian ever, along with Jonathan.
So he's like a young stud. He was like one of the best players on that World Junior team, you would imagine. And probably going to the league. You know, like usually like when you're on the World Junior team and you get World Championship team, you're trying to get NHL reps.
Sure.
Okay. God, the person I had in mind, I think maybe did that, dude. It's a reckless 8, though. Take me to 6. Okay. Take me to 6. And I really hope I get a piece of information right
I'm going to take you to 6, and if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say you get it here.
Okay.
This player is the 3rd freshman in college hockey history to win the Hobey Baker after Paul Kariya and Jack Eichel.
Okay. I do have it, Dan. And you know what's fucked to hell? Did you say won gold in World Junior and World Championship?
Yes.
Okay. So the person I was thinking, when you said left for the USHL, I was like, oh, we know someone that did that to play college. Like you go to the USHL because you want to play college.
Chris, that's exactly what this player did.
Then but you hadn't said college yet. So that's why I was like, I'm actually thinking of someone.
He also played New England Prep.
I was like, yeah, fuck. It's so funny. I was like, I'm actually thinking of someone, but I'm going to wait to hopefully hear that he played college hockey. Yeah. So I now know who it is, but I couldn't remember because he didn't have the best World Junior.
No, he did not.
And I couldn't remember. I knew he made that World Championship team,
yeah.
But I was like, I don't know that they won gold. That's why I was like,
do you know?
I'm going to guess. So
okay. I was going to say this person.
The answer is
this person famously got beaked by 2 good friends of the program at that World Championship for getting a rub down on a massage table.
That's right. My guess is my biological son, Adam Fantilli.
Question number 4 and 5 are of Polish and Italian descent. His middle name is Giuliano, and his first name that he goes by is a shortened version of the longer Italian name.
Ooh, that's actually kind of an interesting. If I hadn't known it, that might not have gotten me there.
I think if you were circling Adam, you would have been like, And then finally, often referred to as your son, he was selected 3rd overall by the Columbus Blue Jackets in the 2023 NHL Draft. Adam Fantilli is the answer. Chris Powers, you get 6 points.
Come on down. Was it him and Mac back to back? Hobies?
Yes.
Freshman.
Freshman. Very, very, very cool that it was like 3rd freshman ever. Boom.
Fourth. Yeah. Great one. I needed that 6-burger too.
You did. I'm very proud. I would have been upset with you if you didn't know the 3rd question about your son.
Yes. No, you cannot forget that.
Great job. 6 points. That is it for us today at the Empty Netters podcast. Hope you've enjoyed this new schedule of Tuesday and Thursday pods coming out. We have got massive guests for you coming up next week.
Oh, yeah.
Massive guests that are going to be laid into all the podcasts. Your boy Tyler Toffoli will be joining again, as he is now a recurring member of the podcast. Unbelievable stuff. Great shit going on. 4 Nations announcements are coming up soon.
Oh, keep an eye on that. By the way, we're going to do a different schedule for 4 Nations. It's going to be a 4-episode series, essentially.
Yeah.
So we'll post about it when we get closer to it, but it'll be on very random days because we're going to give you the action as soon as possible.
Should I announce right now where we're doing the Montreal meet and greet? We're going to post it on the 1st.
No.
Wow.
Wait.
We're going to wait. You're going to have to wait for the post. But Montreal, we've got a great meet and greet scheduled at an unbelievable bar close to the Bell Center. You will see that 1st of February. Unbelievable stuff from you guys as always. Unbelievable stuff from you.
Unbelievable stuff from you.
Wags, you were pretty good too. Until we see you guys next time,
skate hard.